Games to be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money. They say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't got no time. Out and about, out chasing paper. The streets of my house and the house always wins like Vegas. Never down for the count. Second win, second nature. Found mine. Never had my hands out. Fuck favors. By design, everything tailored. In my youth, it was shell toes, no Chuck Taylors. We choke game, had a game, so it's still the same code game, so it's still the same code. We all pay the cost, pay dues. Move with the money state that I can't lose. On the grind, push a hard line with my linemen. Back when I was young, they said it's all about timing. Feel it's my time, all the stars are aligning. I'm a diamond in the rough, couple cuts got me shining. This game you cannot cop on consignment. In the field, all we do is execute assignments. The game should be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money, they say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't got no time to talk. The game should be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money, they say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't got no time to talk.
First, we get into this paper. See, I want it all, plus a mule and 8 acres. A lot of alcohol, few dad bags of paper. Run this shit like a ship and I'm the sailor. Cold, kinda like it's fresh up out the freezer. Cold, if she ain't talking bread, I don't need her. Soon as I meet her, I'm a fucker, then I leave her. It's the old Mac needs, treat them all like bottom feeders. Break it down slow for them folks that don't know. I'm a seasoned vet, black belt out the dojo. With a wide range of weapons, so I'm out the holster. Keeping all options open, so many ways that I can fold ya. Told you from the gate, never been about no play. Get it on the go, they never been known for no delay. The game should be sold, not to be told. Keep your mouth shut, don't have to break the mold. Mac needs.
Break the work down, it's fence to move. Push that work out, I distribute. Break the work down, it's fence to move. Push that work out, I just distribute. A young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor.
I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. You know I'm the boy, get money's what I'm used to.
Keep it straight from the gate, so I don't confuse ya. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'ma make noise, shout to my producer. I'm an entertainer, but I ain't here to amuse ya. Yeah, fuck with shooters, and they all fucking users. Come through, wake that ass up like a rooster, hella early in the morning. Early bird gets a worm. Finna get rich for 'em, food for the worms. Cutting cocaine, dropping whole things. It's a cold game, make you run your gold chain. Hungry, but I'm moving in a keto state. For sure, I beat the price on the keys in your state. Catch me running up a tire, fucking up a bag. Make me wonder how long will a good thing last. On my Curtis Mayfield, live a life I can't chill. Push a man, pushing packs, all I do is make squeal. Keep it 100, I'm just numb, yo, I can't feel none of these suckers when they say they real. Stacking Uber cash, I'm an out-of-state supply. Random Uber man, here to get away drive. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the...
What is up? It's a Tuesday night show, the Dynasty Show, here We are big week that just happened. We're in fantasy playoff push, but we've got some dynasty tough stuff to talk about. We've got quarterbacks to talk about specifically in this episode. So roll up, pack your bowl, spark it up, and enjoy the show. But Hammer in the building. What up, Hammer?
Ain't nothing, man. One more day of this internet bull jive. So I got Verizon coming tomorrow. So if I do pop in and out, just know I'll be back. My internet service is coming tomorrow. So just bear with me a little bit if I sound a little scratchy or my computer screen's a little bit fuzzy. But I am ready to roll and let's do it.
Heard. Isaac in the building. What up, Isaac? What it do, Isaac? Lost JT. Yeah, losing JT. So it's Zach Moss again. Back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he should be fired up.
Right. Diaz in the building. What up, Diaz? Daniel. What's good, Daniel? Daniel always in here before we start. Appreciate you. Diaz said Hammer's beanie on point. He likes that
Hey.
one.
Yeah,
He
there's a
likes that one.
little polo action I got going on. The polo beanies are just amazing. They fit my head beautifully. They have a nice little designs, a little ski bear action going on for the cold weather around the corner. So yeah, I like these polo beanies. They're really nice.
Yep. So as usual, kind of first portion of the show, just open it all questions or any news. Of course, we'll talk about JT a little bit, I guess, over here. Obviously, with that injury to the hand. Stevie and Hammer bringing
Yeah, it
that
was weird.
fire. Appreciate you, Kev. Appreciate you, Kev. But yeah, it was weird. He wound up
Yes,
finishing the game.
sir.
Apparently, it happened during the game, and he wound up finishing the game. But now gonna go through surgery and be out possibly the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it says about 2 to 3 weeks. So that'll pretty much bring you into like the first game of the playoffs, maybe the second if you advance. So we're going into week 13? Yeah, so 15, 16. So probably that semifinals championship round, basically. So that's a tough blow, especially if you're on a team that's like 6-6, 7-5, and you really need him in there to be holding shit down. That's a big blow.
Crispy, what up, Crispy? Crispy in the building. Beanies, 'tis the season, Kev said. Yep. Got to get Moss a few
Yo,
weeks
Kev,
ago.
it got really frosty. It got really frosty up here in the Northeast these last couple of days. So I think it's like 29 degrees tonight, something like that, some nonsense. So it is cold. I actually traded Zach Moss in the subscriber league.
What?
I traded Zach Moss in the subscriber league.
Oh, you did? Today?
Yeah, a couple hours ago.
Oh, did I miss that? Who'd you trade him to?
Probably.
Yeah, I did miss it. Oh, RC. Okay. Yeah, we do got 2 more weeks for the trade deadline. Yep. Had to get Moss a few weeks
Got me
back,
back.
proposed Chuba, and he let the trade sit until it dropped. I should have been more persistent. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight. It's always easy to say in hindsight, you know? Always. Appreciate you, Crispy. But yeah, what else?
Yeah, so I felt like I could get I'm not a contender in the subscriber league, so I felt like if I could get something for Moss at this point, and I got a second for him, so I felt like that was decent, decent value for a guy that I probably won't get much for once the season's over, maybe even going into next year.
Yeah. I can feel that. I guess we can get right into we'll get right into the first guy. in the next minute or two here as soon as I finish this. But yeah, we'll talk about Fields, we'll talk about Pickett, we'll talk about Danny Dimes, we'll talk about Mac Jones, all these quarterbacks kind of with some question marks. What's the price of some of these guys? What's it going to cost you? Should you go acquire some of these guys for the cheap, right? We've got a hurt Danny Dimes, Pickett. Looks like Hammer's in the matrix here. Pickett, obviously that offense started going off as soon as Matt Canada is finito. We've got Pickett and that Steelers offense kind of coming to life a little bit. Najee, what do you have? 99 yards, I think it was.
99.
So we'll get to talking about all that. Dobbs, yeah. I mean, Dobbs was
No bueno.
bad for a while. A lot of just tip passes, interceptions. Still wound up throwing the touchdown at the end, so kind of tried to save the day a little bit, but was in the negative for the whole game.
He was not good.
Peacock in the building. What's up, Peacock? Stroud proud. Yeah, you should be. You should be. You should be. Isaac said they're going to evaluate now. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we're in these last few weeks of the season, so Kevin's got a couple
So I heard
Addison shares. Oh, go ahead.
I heard
Go
some
ahead, Kevin.
interesting information that Kevin O'Connell basically said that they're going to evaluate the quarterback position. They have a couple of quarterbacks that are fully healthy now, so that's an interesting kind of development, considering that we thought, hey, listen, Dobbs would just slide in, play well, get them to the playoffs, and now they're 6-6. So, and I just saw the information that Justin Jefferson is definitely playing after the bye, which we kind of already knew.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know if they'd go as far as taking Dobbs out or letting what's his name? What is it? Mullins, I think.
Yeah, he might have a short leash though.
We just need someone that can just possibly try and run the offense. Dobbs, I mean, this is the first game really that we really didn't look good. So, but Kevin says he's got a couple Addison shares. So, feeling a little insecure on Addison, would you shop him to get a Pittman, London, Higgins plus JSN maybe?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that, especially if you're going to get one of those guys. Pittman a little bit to a lesser degree, but I wouldn't mind. Yeah, see what's out there.
Yeah, I'm okay with moving Addison.
I still think he's pretty awesome. Like Dobbs threw him a deep pass, and if he would have hung on to it, he would have had a really solid day. So it's not like he's a complete wash. You know what I mean? I still think he'll have his solid days. He'll have his up and down days. And now that Justin Jefferson's coming back, it could affect his production to a degree, but he was still producing when Justin Jefferson was there, albeit with Kirk Cousins. So, I would definitely shop him around. So there, you could look at it from both ends of the spectrum, but I would definitely shop him around and see, what the best offer would be.
Yeah, I mean, you've got, at least for me, I mean, coming in, we talked extensively about Addison and how he was kind of more of that number two, like Devonta Smith-ish type, where he needs that kind of number one across from him, right? So it kind of was perfect that he went up going to Minnesota, and perfect situation, obviously, with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. But Kirk Cousins goes down. We don't necessarily know the future of that quarterback position. And we could say the same, about London as well. But London, I feel like, can be an actual number one on the squad. So, for me, I've got these guys all ahead of Addison, except Pittman is kind of closer. But I do like Higgins a little more. I do like London a little more. And they're not crazily that far off, I guess, in rankings wise. I think in keep trade cut, Addison should be more in the 15 to 20-ish range. And these guys possibly a little bit a little bit ahead. So yeah, I'm okay with shopping Addison if you can get a Higgins, if you can get a London, if you can get a JSN, especially right now where value is kind
Taking a
of
hit.
it's taking a hit already, but it could get worse next season, right? If Kirk is not the quarterback, like that's going to be even worse. So yeah, if I can move Addison for if I can move Addison and like a second for Higgins, same kind of thing, JSN London, I kind of offer that for any of those guys. I think.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where I would offer it up. See what you can get if there's a good package that you like. If you could split that into 2 assets at this point, I would definitely look into it. I wouldn't just give him up for magic beans, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that would be willing to make a deal with a guy like Addison, who we've seen, he's a really good player. He's probably had the best rookie season out of any of these rookie wide receivers. Zay Flowers with that 2 touchdown game, you could kind of toss in there, but so yeah.
And Addison's performing more than all of these guys. So depending on your league, like you could even come away with like a straight up, depending on the type of league that you're playing. So yeah, I'm definitely going for that. I mean, which one do you go after? Probably if there's a team that needs points, I mean, the Higgins, JSN,
Higgins would
London
be the one,
are pretty good options. Yeah. I mean,
especially with Higgins
unless,
being hurt, you might be able to get Higgins plus.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, Pittman might cost you a little bit more than all of those guys just with the production at the moment. Isaac said I gotta drop him. Moving on because I have Purdy.
I think he's talking about Dobbs.
And
there.
if you want to do that, Dobbs, I think yeah. Who starts this week? Flacco or PJ Walker?
I would think it would
That's
be
tough.
PJ Walker just because he's been there, but
I would
that
think
would
so
be,
too.
the first kind of initial looking at it. I don't think there's been any word on if they announce a starter. So, but yeah, my initial guess would be PJ Walker.
Diaz says Dobbs was not bad. He was under immediate duress instantly. Offensive core. Yeah, let's not even get started with that shit. But yeah, what the fuck was he doing? I don't know. It was just trying to run stretch zones with Madison and running Chandler up the gut. Stupid wide receiver drops, tips. Yeah, I mean, all the interceptions were basically tips. So
2 of them were tips. 2 of them were straight interceptions.
whatever. But you get it. But yeah, overall, I mean, we've got to play better altogether. Simp, what up, Simp? Evening, fellas. TV still in one piece. That's what I was saying, although it's iffy with how Ridley was playing through the first half. I can feel that. But, I went back to it. I was listening to, like, the episode, I think, right before. I was listening to it, I think it was yesterday, and I was thinking about Simp, and I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker, he didn't break his TV." I was like, "We got that one." And I think there was another one where Andrew, I think it was, and he was saying he's like a crazy important week. He's like, I need the most upside, and it was like Bijan or I don't remember what the other one was, but we wound up getting it right with Bijan there. Addison failing to secure that pass because he tried to do some Ole BS catch, cost him that huge play that was catchable inbounds. Yeah, that was bullshit. That was bullshit, and that should have been a big play.
Those two catches, that first one down the middle, that bomb that it was contested, and he had the ball for the most part until he basically hit the ground, and then that second one, that would have been a massive game. He would have been over 100 yards and a touchdown with those 2 catches, plus what the rest of what he did during the game. So I still think Addison's a legitimate player. He's a legitimate play each week, even with Justin Jefferson back. He's definitely still on the flex radar. So He's awesome, I think. And I hate the Vikings.
Will, what's up, Will? Need one quarterback to stream this week. Pickett, Love, or Carr?
My initial instinct here would be to say Jordan Love, but they are playing Kansas City. Now it's in Green Bay because Jordan Love has been playing terrific ball the last couple of weeks against the Chargers. And then obviously we all saw the demolition job he did to the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving, but that matchup is really tough. I got to see who the Saints play. The Saints play against the Lions, coincidentally. And Derek Carr looked pretty good last week. So I would lean Derek Carr, but I wouldn't be mad if you played Jordan Love.
Can't trust Carr. I had to play Carr in one league, and it wasn't pretty.
Last week he wasn't good.
No, got me like 9 fantasy points or some shit
Really?
like that.
I could have sworn he had a better game.
Maybe he had good
13,
yardage.
yeah.
But
He had 304, but he had one interception.
He had over 300 yards, but
yeah, no
had the
touchdowns. That's
intel,
kind of the shit that he
but no
does.
tutty. Exactly.
Maybe
And
I
it's
thought
just-
because Olave had a nice game, I probably felt like Derek Carr had a bigger day than what he did.
Yeah, who's Pickett playing?
Steelers
Against the
play
Cardinals.
Arizona.
Mm.
All interesting plays there. Jordan Love's playing the best, but he has the toughest matchup.
Mm-hmm.
We think, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it's between Love and Pickett.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett played well, but same deal. He had almost 300 yards, but no touchdowns. So,
I mean, Carr's interesting if they have to throw. Like, he's going to give you the yardage, I think, but are the tutties coming along with it, or is it just the damn into?
and I mean, Jordan Love definitely, like I said, provides you with the most upside here. But the matchup is really tough, right? That Kansas City. Now I do like that it's in Green Bay and not at Arrowhead. So that's a really tough one. I would lean Derek Carr, but if you play Jordan Love, he has the most upside here.
Well, Olave had the
give me Jordan
concussion,
Love,
right? So, like, is
did.
Olave even going to play? Like, we don't know that yet, right?
That's true. Yeah, I'll roll with Jordan Love then.
Yeah, I think between Love and Pickett, I probably just roll with Love. Unless we believe in Pickett now. I mean, after with Nomad Canada, I mean, do we just go with Pickett?
Could certainly understand based on what you saw last week.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Love, but that's tough. We're picking up Goddard.
If you need a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when he's gonna be back. If it's gonna be, what is it, 1 more week or 2 more weeks? So just keep an eye on that. But I mean, depending
said he's
on what
pushing to play
are,
week 13. Said he's pushing to play this week.
So I don't think he's gonna play this week, but he could. But yeah, I mean, who's your tight end at the moment? So, you know, if you got the space, maybe you could just pick him up just to block him from somebody else not being able to pick him up if they don't have a tight end. So, yeah, man, our Vikes did all they could to lose and did that just to get me to the freaking bye week. Yeah, I mean, and it's 2 tough losses in a row like that we could have had, you know, without JJ, and it is what it is. But yeah,
but
Sam
to be
said
fair,
Olave
though,
concussion.
if you looked at the Viking season and told me that Justin Jefferson wasn't going to play a majority of the season, you were going to start 0-3, and after your first 12 games you were 6-6 and in a playoff spot, I'm sure you'd sign up for it.
Yeah. No, of course. But still, you know, what's cracking? Would you keep Murray or the Wolf? I have to drop one. And is Frymouth worth wasting a waiver ad? I have Kincaid, only need Frymouth 1 week.
That's pretty interesting. To answer the first question directly, I think I would keep Kyler Murray just because of that crazy rushing upside that he's going to give you. I know Sam Howell's been slinging it all over the place, but I think I'd lean Kyler Murray here just based off the rushing upside. And yeah, I mean, listen, if you're in the hunt, Frank, and you need a tight end, and Fryermuth had over 100 yards, which was fantastic in the first game without Matt Canada. Fryermuth seemed to be a big beneficiary of that. So yeah, I would pick him up for sure because even if he gives you 75% of that production, he's going to finish in the top 6 or 7 tight ends for the week, and that could be the difference between winning and losing. So absolutely.
Yeah, I'm definitely good with picking up Fryermuth. But Murray or the Wolf, I mean, what sucks is you can't drop either of them yet. Because Kyler Murray's bye is week 14 and Sam Howell's bye is week 14.
Yeah, so you can drop one. You can't have both of
You
them.
could drop
That doesn't matter.
okay, I thought it was 13 and 14, my bad. I read it wrong. All right, so they both got bye in week 14, so it's either Howell against Miami or Kyler against Pittsburgh.
I think I like the rushing upside of Kyler. I know Sam Howell's QB4, which is
And
bananas.
yeah, exactly. And then after the bye, you've got the Rams, Jets, and San Fran for Howell. And for
That's the
Kyler,
playoff
you've got
schedule.
and Kyler, you've got San Fran, Chicago, and Philly.
Okay, so it's basically a wash. So give me Kyler Murray with the upside rushing. He has 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He has a rushing touchdown in every game he's been back. Give me that.
Yeah, I think I might be with you on that. I mean, San Fran is tough in week 15, but then you got Chicago at least in that 16. And then 17, Howell, you've got the Jets in 16, and then San Fran at 17. So I'm gonna go slightly Kyler there as well. That's tough though.
Yep.
Sim said with Ridley back on trap, got to figure which two to flex this week out of Ridley, Gibbs, and Monty. Ridley, Gibbs, Monty. Got to pick two.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, you're playing Ridley. And then listen, Gibbs, I think I'd still go Monty just based on the goal line work. So I would go Monty, but you can't go wrong either way because Gibbs is one play away from scoring a touchdown and Monty gets the goal line work. So I don't think you could go wrong with either one based on the situation, based on the volume, based on, like I said, Gibbs is so dynamic and Monty's getting goal line work. I don't really think you could go wrong with either one. Gibbs is going to give you a little bit of a higher upside, but Monty's been really awesome since he's come back.
I think if it's full PPR, then I think you have to go
It's
Gibbs just
Gibbs.
for the receiving
Yeah, I agree.
upside. But if it's
I
not,
agree.
then I'd roll with Monty. Simp. Birdman, blessings, Birdman. What's goody?
Yes, sir.
Y'all gave me my confirmation. Riding with Pickett. There you go. Fuck it. Let's do it. Need a tight end because Kincaid is on by. Yeah, that's fine.
Fryermuth. Yeah.
What was it? Goddard? Yeah, pick up Goddard if
Oh,
no,
Goddard.
was it
Goddard.
Goddard?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
Isaac it was
Goddard.
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 Yeah. Maybe Juwan. Nah, I'd rather go Goddard.
Oh, Goddard for sure.
I don't know how the Vikings are still in the mix, but yeah, we somehow are. And we should have won the last 2 games, so it should be even better. But
Not with the Packers lurking right there, baby. In your rearview mirror, objects are closer than they appear.
Minutes pass. Who's wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in this draft? I mean, you could look at Neighbors, you could look at Ibuka. There's a few actually really good guys. There this year the draft is very deep at wide receiver. So we might see a few more first round pick wide receivers in this draft. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And there's a few guys and it's going to be shaken up. We've got plenty of time, obviously, until the actual draft, but it's going to be very, very, very interesting. And there's everybody likes a few different guys up there. So we're gonna have to see what happens the rest of the way. What happened with my bad. Sam, sure, sign me up for a playoff spot, but we talking about the North here just hurts. Like Buddy said, could have won the last two. Yep. Plus, we have Detroit 2 of the last 3. Yeah, we do have Detroit 2 of the last 3, so it's kind of like in our hands at the moment. So come on, Vikes, let's go. Yeah, this week matchup says how a great floor for Kyler. I feel you, Peacock. Absolutely. Adam, what's up, Adam? Would you start Stroud over Mahomes? Green Bay got some bad weather. Is it looking bad?
I don't know at this moment. It's Sunday night, so it's gonna be fucking freezing in Green Bay. It's the
Mhm.
8:20 game, so it's gonna be absolutely frigid. I'll check the preliminary weather, but it's gonna be cold in Green Bay on Sunday night. Yeah, I mean CJ Stroud's playing the Denver Broncos. I The Packers defense has played well against some pretty good teams. They're not great, but yeah, man, it's interesting. It's interesting. I think I would lean CJ Stroud here. That almost sounds blasphemous.
No, not necessarily when you look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4 games. I mean, 470, 356, 336, 304. Now, granted, they weren't against great defenses, but I mean, Denver was horrible early on. They've been a lot better. They've been a lot better lately. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's an interesting it's an interesting thing. I mean, damn.
All right, so really quick, Green Bay on Sunday. Ooh, and it looks like some inclement weather. Occasional
Snow.
snow showers. Yeah, rain
Okay.
and snow in the evening. Winds light though, 30 degrees low. So could be some inclement
Not
weather.
bad.
Yeah, roll with CJ Stroud if that's what you want to do, man. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Wouldn't be mad at it either. I guess we're rolling Stroud, Adam. Tough, but as of now, we'll roll Stroud. X me again on Friday or Saturday, though.
I like it.
DS trade sent. All right, we'll check it out. What do you think about Marquise Brown from Arizona? Birdman said.
I mean, we like him. We think he's solid, and I think as Kyler Murray kind of progresses, getting back from his injury, I think Hollywood's only going to get better. So yeah, I think he'll be fine the rest of the season. I think it's just going to take a couple of games, like I said, for Kyler to kind of find his feet and you know get rolling again. But Hollywood's been solid for the most part this season, especially early on. Let me see what he's been up to lately.
I mean, he's a pretty solid. He's a pretty solid wide receiver two ish. But when we are talking about for the future, like I don't think I don't know if they'll hesitate to bring in like a Marvin Harrison. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, they would definitely do that.
So, it's just he kind of is what he is. He's like I would if you can rely on him as like a flex or a wide receiver three-ish, I'd be a lot more comfortable than that with that.
Feel that.
Frank said, as far as Murray and Howell, it's just a backup. Have CJ, but want to back up. Lost my QB in playoffs last 2 seasons. Not going to fall for that one again. Yeah, that's fine. You good then. Herbert, CD, Waddle, Dell, Ridley, Bijan, Gibbs, Laporta, Steelers D. Looking good, Simp.
It's pretty damn good.
Looking
yeah.
good. Birdman said, "Looking forward to the Saturday show." Yeah, appreciate you, Birdman. That's his pregame prep.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Saturday show as well because I'll have my internet situation all straightened out. I'll be locked and loaded.
2 square feet in the building. Hammer's tired as fuck. Yeah.
Hold on, go back to that really quick. Shout out to 2 Square Feet. That is actually my barber.
Oh, is it?
He subscribed a couple of weeks ago and I was at the barbershop getting a haircut. Shout out to my barber Russ. I appreciate you joining us, bro.
Shout out to the barber. This motherfucker used to be at the barbershop for hours when we were younger. Like, bro, what the fuck, dog?
Bro, because there would be a line. There will be a line, dude.
I know.
4 or
That
5
means
guys
Russ.
in front of me.
That means Russ be doing his thing. So I feel it.
No doubt about it. Now I'll make sure I get my ass there and I'm first in line.
We got shit to do.
No arguments there.
Adam said full PPR, pick 2, Warren, Sharps, Henry, and Zach Moss. Thanks, boys. We got to pick 2 here. Warren, Sharps, Henry, Moss.
Well, with Jonathan Taylor out, it's got to be Moss, right? As at least one of these guys. And I think I would lean Derrick Henry as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's
I
how
think
I'm
going
leaning.
Henry and Moss. Yeah.
Henry and Moss for sure. Love about to turn back into a pumpkin. Yep. Let's get it.
Listen. Nah, y'all some hating ass motherfuckers out there. Love has been doing its thing.
Yeah, it is getting cold. So yeah, we do got to keep an eye on some of this weather here.
Weather.
10 more downs. Wait, who are downs? Who are downs, Birdman?
Yeah. Hollywood Brown? Was he talking about Hollywood or Downs? I think from that previous question. Marquise Brown.
Oh, for this week. For this week, he's got the Steelers and
Downs was not good last week.
No, we fucked us.
We blew that one. I thought Downs was gonna have a really big week.
What was?
I think I'll go Hollywood.
Yeah, Titans, 12 targets. Yeah, 12 targets last game. I mean, Downs. I mean, it's a good option against the Titans, but I'll probably lean Hollywood as well. Looks like they back. Madden's passes Ayuk plus a second. Too much for Olave.
I don't think so, but the problem with Olave is just with Derek Carr, he's going to be so damn inconsistent, and that's the frustrating part because we see when he gets thrown the ball, he produces exactly what he did last week, over 100 yards, and he didn't even finish the whole game. I think he came out like some midway through the third quarter, something like that. So Olave is fantastic. I think I'm keeping Olave in this scenario.
So is it too much for Olave? No, I wouldn't say it's too much. I mean, Ayuk is going to be that inconsistent kind of guy. He is going to be a free agent. Like, we don't know what that situation is going to be like. I mean, I'm not really necessarily worried about Carr because obviously we know he's not going to be the future there. But, when do they get a quarterback?
Yeah.
I'm okay with spending it if you want to get Olave. I'm okay with it. That's not too much. Madden's pass. That's not. DS 12 team start 10. Superflex traded Andrews for Pitts because he's win now, but after seeing Pitts' lowest snap usage of his career this past weekend, yeah, that was bullshit. Thinking about offering this to a guy just eliminated. Pitts and a mid first for Hawkinson and Rice. I'm a Mahomes manager. Yeah, I'm okay.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
You could just plug Rice into the flex and just always play him, and just it is what it is. Just live with the results. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Rashee Rice has been solid, man.
Could go to the guy on the outside looking in, offered his own first to him for Tyreek.
going for
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
gusto, if you're going
I
for the
definitely want
gusto,
Tyreek, so yeah, I would try that avenue first. I'd try that avenue first, and then move on to the other one if you need to. Derek, what's up, Derek? Thielen or McBride for the flex half PPR? It's my only options.
ooh, I think you still got to go Thielen here.
Yeah, it was
McBride's
a
been
very
really good, but
very
still go with
upsetting week
Thielen.
for Thielen. Yeah, I'm with that too. I'm still rolling Thielen, but if he does this shit again, Daniel said, "Okay, guys, 2 running backs: ETN, Ford, Monty, and Moss." What's up, Daniel? ETN, Ford, Monty, Moss.
ETN's been really disappointing. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Based on what he did pretty much the first 2/3 of the season. Oh man, I just feel like ETN always has that potential to give you those multiple touchdown games.
The only
But
difference
Monty,
really is he hasn't scored tutties, right?
right. And Monty's been really good. We know Moss is very capable and he's going to get the full workload basically in that game. So it's really between Monty, Moss, and ETN. I think I'm definitely playing Moss this week. So then it comes down to Monty and ETN. I Give me Monty and Moss here. I could see a world in which ETN scores a touchdown, but Monty's been really good in the role that he's carved out there. So give me Monty and Moss, but ETN is very, very close on this one.
I think I'm gonna play ETN, and
Yeah, I can't be mad at that.
I'm gonna play ETN and Moss. I like Monty. I like Ford too, but give me ETN and Moss. I mean, Moss doesn't have the best matchup either, but I still kind of like him more
He
than
still gets that
the
work.
others.
He still gets that work. Yep.
Chargers D versus New England. Chargers D versus New England, or Bucks versus the Panthers.
Chargers defense hasn't been good, but that's offset by how awful New England is. Same thing with the Bucks defense. They're not that great, but the Panthers are just god awful as well offensively. Give me the Chargers defense. They still have some playmakers on that side of the ball that I think could get after Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi or whoever they run out there. Give me that Chargers defense. They still got some primetime playmakers.
Damn, I don't know. I have to go with the Bucks.
Okay.
Unless the Panthers all of a sudden put up numeros after getting rid of Frankie Boy. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm going with the Bucks. Panthers offense is just so
Okay.
bad. I mean, so is the Patriots, but they got Stevenson at least. Isaac said
That's
Rice
true.
or Reed
Mario
for
Douglas.
Dynasty. This is actually a really good question here. Rice or Reed for Dynasty?
That is a fantastic question, Isaac. And obviously I'm a little partial to Jaden Reed, number one, because he's on my team, and number two, because he's been fantastic. And we kind of talked up Jaden Reed coming out of the draft, and we thought that was a really good pick for the Packers. We thought he would help, Jordan Love kind of take that next step. And he's been really good virtually since day one. Right? He really hasn't been too high or too low. He's been pretty consistent. He's getting his touchdowns. He's getting more involved. I love the way they used him against Detroit and against the Chargers. So I would go Jaden Reed just because I think he could do a little bit more. He's a little more versatile than Rashee Rice. So I would lean Jaden Reed that way. But Rashee Rice has been fantastic as well, kind of really standing out of that wide receiver group for Patrick Mahomes. But I'll go Reed slightly just because they could do a little bit more with him.
Yeah, I like Reed as well.
You never really liked Rashee Rice. I remember even out of the draft, you weren't feeling him.
No, I wasn't. I mean, he just didn't really. He wasn't a great route runner. I mean, obviously he's been improved on that, but
But
he's
that
on
you
a
can
cheap
improve
offense.
that. That's what I always say. Like route running, you can improve.
Oh, I mean, yes and no. You gotta have the knack for it. I mean, he's just great in zone and he's great after the catch. That's what he's doing is everything is it's yak. They're getting him the ball in space and he's able to do his thing. So though I do like Rice now, I mean, obviously it is what it is. When we're wrong, we're wrong. But I mean, what can
10,
Rice
10
really be
targets,
in that offense? Like
8
what can he
catches on
what is the
10
ultimate
targets.
like what is the ceiling? Is it Juju? Is it more than that? Because possibly Kelsey, like, we don't know how long that's gonna last, like, do they bring somebody in, right?
He's clearly been their best wide receiver this season from start to finish, and he's
Oh,
only
yeah, for
really played
sure.
well the last like 6 weeks, basically. He
So
does
he's
have
in
he has 5 touchdowns on the season.
yeah, I mean, he's playing the slot role, so could they bring somebody, another more relevant wide receiver in? Yeah, of course, I think they'll definitely be able to do that, so I just think Reed has a little bit more upside.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
So they're
I like Reed just in general because it might not matter who the quarterback is. Like I still think you're going to see that he's good. Where like if Rice ever goes somewhere else or if he gets traded, and obviously that's probably not going to happen. But if it were to happen, like I don't know if he'd be able to succeed like Reed would be.
Yeah, so just for context in full PPR, Jaden Reed is wide receiver 33, Rashee Rice is wide receiver 35. So just to give a little
Mhm.
bit of context on that.
Yeah. Leonard or Taysom, rest of season.
Goddard.
Yeah, I'll take Goddard as well. We're on the street, cars worn out as welcome, and Nola. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes him over there. I mean, we need Winston up in there.
I would love Jameis Winston to be slinging it to
Jameis.
Olave. I would love that.
Hilo or Russ.
Mm. Think I might go Trevor Lawrence here. They're playing home against Cincinnati. Russ has been okay, but during this win streak, he really hasn't been going off like that. He's a couple of touchdowns, but he's not being super prolific. I think I'm going Trevor Lawrence here. Um, Jordan Love has a tough matchup. Yeah, I'm going Trevor Lawrence.
Back on the T-Lord train. Yeah, I don't know what Russ is just like.
T-Low's been playing well
He's
last couple of weeks.
he's playing good, not great,
He's
but
game managing, bro. That defense is playing
he's
better.
he is. He is. I mean, 134 yards last week. I mean, granted that was Cleveland. Buffalo, I
No,
mean,
it's
shit, he
been
hasn't had over 200 yards. He had one time in the past, like, what, 7, 8 games. But, I mean, he's throwing tutties. He's not turning the ball over. He actually ran a little bit last game. 11 rushing attempts last game for 34 yards. He's got a game with 9, a game with 8, a game with 7. So he's moving a little bit. Nah, against Houston, probably go T-Law as well. Russ is probably like just a safe kind of. He's gonna give you points, but
Trevor Lawrence has got 3 rushing touchdowns in his last 2 games, which I like to see. He's been running it a little bit more this year as well. Not so much in the last 3 games, although he has the 3 rushing touchdowns in the last 2, but he's been giving you a little bit more in the rushing side department than years past.
Atlanta D versus Jets to block my opponent. Has D on a bye. I'm okay with it. Okay with it. I think Hammer got into the matrix over here. Madden says Dobbins or a fourth. Dobbins or a fourth. I mean, that's a cheap Dobbins. I'll take it. I'll take it for the fourth, just on the simple fact that if he ever does come back, you might be able to get him.
And Dobbins is
trade him for like a third or a second if he ever comes back to like complete form, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it's worth a shot if you only got to spend a fourth. Redraft, half PPR, Chase Rice, Sutton, Olave, Cooper need 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we got to sit 2 of these guys. Sitting Amari, who actually I don't even think he's playing. He's got that injury. And I'm sitting Amari. Sitting Amari, and I'm sitting. Damn. Something. I'm sitting.
Yeah, this internet situation's bad, dude.
Is it Sutton? Who am I sitting? Maybe it's Rice. It might be Rice. I don't know. Do we chase what happened last game? You know? Do we chase what happened last game or not? I'm probably going to sit Rice. Hopefully I don't regret it. But who's a kicker to have rest of season? What defense should I stash for the playoffs if I have no bye? Well, who's out there, Diaz? I mean, who's available in your league right now that you can actually pick up? I mean, I typically like to stream those as well, especially the kickers, like anybody playing in the dome, right? Look for the good weather. It's typically what we're checking. Chargers offense. I mean, I'm not concerned about Herbert and Keenan. I mean, they're doing their thing, but Thursday night on the road versus Vegas could be one of those divisional grind out games. I mean, Vegas has been horrible, but it is what it is. You're gonna have to just roll with your guns, Jeezy. We gotta roll with the guns. Should I do Thielen for Waddle? Yeah, I do that. I'll take Waddle for sure. Dropping Khalil. Depending on what your options are, I'm okay with that. Yeah, go get Waddle for sure. Hammer looks like he's nodding. Dobbins done. Yeah, I mean, he could be. He could be. It's rough, but you never know. Let's probably keep this. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Russ. Yeah, his internet, he's got to get his shit together, but he just moved into a new place, so we'll cut him some slack for the first few days. Fuck team defense. Yeah, I know Crispy likes that IDP. One Nation in the building. What up, One Nation? What's goody, my man? What's up? The Browns winning games feel like Jesse Pinkman saying he can't keep getting away with this. Yeah, we're definitely sitting Coop on that, Crispy. I'm with that for sure. I mean, A.T. Perry is slightly interesting, One Nation, but I'm not confident in anybody over there. And then with Shaheed, looks like he's not playing for sure. No Michael Thomas, obviously. I mean, A.T. Perry would be the next guy up. So A.T. Perry if you have to. Adam said need a running back off of waivers, Zeke or Hubbard. Check out Chuba real quick. Might be Chuba. Let's go Chuba. I mean, Miles Sanders is just not that good. Chuba's getting the work. Let's just go Chuba. Hammer said his connection is trash. He'll be back full force. Hammer, you're killing me, man. Because I got to talk about some of these QBs. I'm talking like high fantasy level. I feel you, Birdman. Well, high fantasy level for sure. I don't think he's ever going to get back to that. So, but I think for sure he could find himself a role in some kind of offense, getting some kind of fantasy points for you, possibly like a RB2-ish, or obviously injuries happen all the time, so he could wind up getting a little more playing time in certain weeks. And then at that point, maybe you can get a third for him or second if somebody's desperate. So I just don't mind spending the fourth on him or having him just as a throw in a trade. But I'm not actively like trying to grab him in any leagues or actively going out and buying him for cheap. No. Vite Queen, what up, Vite Queen? Appreciate you, Vite Queen. Appreciate you, Vite Queen. But yeah, we were going to talk a little bit of Justin Fields, right? Dynasty. Justin Fields, I mean, he's kind of been up or down. Like he's shown us the flashes. He's shown us that he can run the football. He's shown us that he can pass the football at times, but he also did miss a few throws yesterday. Um he should have made that could have been, differencing throws. So he's been kind of up and down as far as his ability to just even not turning the ball over, he has just so many turnovers, right? So many turnovers, and they're not winning games. Obviously, they beat the Vikings, but they haven't been winning games when Justin Fields has been playing. So with that high pick, is there a chance that they wind up drafting somebody? That's gonna be what we're gonna be looking for in the offseason. Do they draft a QB there? Or do they say, hey, we're gonna stick it out with Justin Fields? Maybe we like the connection with DJ Moore. Or does he wind up going somewhere else? Do they wind up having to trade him? So if he doesn't continue to play there, he'll definitely get a shot, I feel like, somewhere else. So he's kind of in the like QB 12-ish to 15-ish range for me as far as Dynasty is concerned. And let's see. Let's pull up Keep Trade Cut real quick. Let's see where he's at. Currently QB 14 on Keep Trade Cut. So I think that's a pretty safe spot. Obviously, there's a ton of upside with Justin Fields, right? But he's still a risk at the moment. So if you want to buy low on Justin Fields, I'm okay with doing that as well. Nice shirt. Appreciate you, Fight Queen. What is he worth? He's still going to be worth a late first. He's a guy that's still playing right now, actually, too. So I think he's still going to cost you that first plus. Which I don't know. I'm not necessarily comfortable paying, right? There are still some question marks there. So can I buy back in next year at the same price when we're more sure of what his situation is going to be? So I think that's really the play right now for Justin Fields is to kind of hold him if you have him. If you can come off of him and still get a good return from him, let's do that. If you can get the first plus, if you can come off of Fields and get to a safer quarterback. Do you feel safer with a Kyler Murray, a Tua, right? Can you give up Fields in a second for one of these guys? Trevor Lawrence hasn't been great. Can you use what Fields is doing now to try and move up to Trevor Lawrence? A few games left, so Fields can obviously increase his stock towards this season end. And that's gonna be important for him. So Crispy said smoking a bowl. Absolutely crispy. Plug Fields in here. Fields worth about a mid first-ish, so kind of right on target. So it would be a first plus if it's just a random mid to late. If it's a mid first, then you're talking about that's what the price is basically for Justin Fields. So are you buying Justin Fields? How do we feel about Justin Fields out there? Do we feel like he can still succeed if he's not on Chicago next year? Do we give up on him, or do you think we just kind of hold? I think I'm the best position for me would be to just kind of hold right now. I'm not actively going to buy him, and I'm open to selling him if I can. If I can come off of him to a quarterback that I can kind of rely on more for the next few years, then I'm okay with doing that. Right? Tua, Kyler, Trevor, just to minimize the risk. Now, absolutely, Fields can be a top 5-ish, top 8-ish quarterback, but not at the rate that he is going with turning that football over. So at some point, the fantasy points don't matter, and in the actual NFL, you got to start winning. So I think he'll be better on another team. So if we're looking at another team, Isaac, and everybody out there for Justin Fields, I mean, what are we thinking? We've heard the rumors early in the season that Atlanta would be interested in Fields if Chicago was to move on from Fields. So would Atlanta be a good place? You go there with Bijan, you got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts. I mean, we've seen what Fields can do with Komet. We've seen what he can do with DJ Moore. So what does that do for an offense like that? I think that definitely can be a possibility. I mean, there's a ton of teams right now that can use a quarterback possibly. I mean, the Seahawks, Titans, the Patriots, right? The Saints, the Jets, although they're probably just going to roll with Aaron Rodgers for next year. The Bucks could use a QB, or they continue to roll with Baker Mayfield. The Rams, whenever they decide to move on from Matt Stafford. So, I mean, there's a few options out there. I think the Falcons kind of do really fit really well. So I think the Falcons would be a good opportunity for him. But don't forget, right? He's got 1 year left on the contract. So he has to prove it next year. He's only going to have 1 more year to prove himself. So he is a rushing quarterback as well. So you have that risk. If he winds up getting hurt rushing, he's only got that 1 year there on the contract. Now it's going to be tough if depending on what the injury is looking like. So I think that's also something to think about, the contract and the injury, possibility of injury, from a Russian quarterback. So that's why if you can move off the risk, then great. Otherwise, we'll just hold him. Because he is a guy that gives you tremendous upside. So if you've got him as your QB2, I mean, that's awesome. If he's your QB1, I mean, at that point, I think you might have to try and move off. Will, what's up, Will? Who are you starting Zach Moss over this week? Is he an RB1 these next 2-3 weeks? Well, what is your I mean, he's not like RB1 overall. I mean, what are your options? I mean, you pretty much almost have to start Zach Moss, but depending on your options, then maybe you can't. I don't know. Or can you throw him in the flex? But yeah, he is an actual RB1. Like he's pretty much top 12ish every single week for the next 3 weeks. In that matter, yes. I wouldn't start him over absolutely anybody, right? But for the most part, yes. Yeah, in a general sense. I got you, Will. Yeah, for sure. For sure. We've already seen what he can do. So, I mean, we've seen it already this season. So I think it's a really good opportunity for him. Jelly, what up, Jelly? Think Love keeps playing well through the fantasy playoffs. Lost Burrow and Howell playoff schedule brutal. Yeah, we were just looking at Howell. I mean, Love is a tough one. He's looked really good at times and he looks really bad at times. So I think you're going to continue to see a little bit of that inconsistency. I mean, he's got KC, he's got the Giants week 14, he's got Tampa week 15, he's got Carolina week 16. So as far as the schedule is concerned, it looks really good for the fantasy playoffs for Jordan Love. So yeah, I mean, I'd be confident in that. I don't know about this week coming up in week 13 against KC. We'll see what he does there. But yeah, as far as the matchup's concerned, I think you're in pretty good shape with Jordan Love. And I know Howell, the schedule sucks, but he's been awesome. So looks like you got yourself covered at least. Hopefully Jordan Love can take it home for you, bro. I'm starting to Swift, Pacheco, and Charbs. Lost JT. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're in good hands at least. You're playing guys that should give you hopefully good fantasy production, right? Pacheco's been good. Charbs, hopefully he can have a breakout game, and you got Swift in that offense. So I think you're rolling. You're rolling well, Isaac. I think you're rolling well there. But yeah, how about Kenny Pickett? Let's talk about Kenny Pickett. They get rid of Canada. Let me pull up Pickett real quick. They get rid of Canada and they play really well as an offense. I mean, 278 yards for Kenny Pickett, which was the high for him for the season. 24 of 33. No tutties, no intos. So that's got to change. He's got to start throwing touchdowns. Like, it's really hard. It's going to be really hard to play Kenny Pickett unless he starts throwing touchdowns. Is he the future for the Steelers? I think that's the real question, and it's tough to say. Like, we don't know now because they got rid of Matt Canada, so now are they, do they use that as an excuse? Do they now still believe in Kenny Pickett for the rest of this season, for next season, for the future? I mean, I think for the rest of this season, like Kenny Pickett better keep his shit together. Otherwise, like you almost have to look for a quarterback. No, I mean, he just hasn't been that good at all. I never thought he was crazy good. He was a first round pick. That could be an argument whether he should have been a first round pick or not, but he was. So I mean, they spent on him. They're going to give him that opportunity. And I mean, to be fair on that offense, you don't have to be great. I mean, look at them. You don't have to be great. So I think Kenny Pickett is just going to be a very kind of low end QB2. He's going to be, in that what at best 15 to 24ish range. So as a QB in superflex leagues, he's, as a QB2 in superflex leagues, he almost, like, doesn't matter as much. Like, the skill position players almost matter a little bit more than what Kenny Pickett does. So, is he worth a first? Not by his play, but just because he's a starting quarterback, he might have that kind of value. But he should be worth a second small piece maybe. But because of the scarcity of the quarterback position in our superflex leagues, he's automatically valued higher than what he should be valued. So it is what it is, but I'm not buying Kenny Pickett. I'd be looking to sell Kenny Pickett if you could. Maybe somebody is interested now. And he didn't have a great game, so I mean, it's tough to like his value is not getting crazy high, but you might have somebody who might want to give up. Do you need a wide receiver? Do you need a running back? But yeah, I'm not totally confident in Kenny Pickett now or for the future. You guys let me know. What do you guys feel about Kenny Pickett? Can you trust him? Where do you have him, for QB ranking, especially in Dynasty and Superflex? I mean, I'd almost just rather take the position player. Would I start Chuba over any? Probably not. No, probably not, Isaac. Think Achan plays. Might grab Jeff Wilson for waivers tonight as a hedge. Thanks. I think we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. I think he is gonna play because I don't think it was that bad. Didn't suffer any setbacks, so looks like he's on track. It's just something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. Patty Fry did get peppered, and that's what they need on that offense, man. Frank said have to sit one, Hall, Bijan, Swift, or B-Rob. Also have Keaton Mitchell. What do you think he is going to do after bye? I don't know. The Ravens they've always been a weird backfield. It's always been a backfield like you don't really want any part of. It's always weird. So I would still think that Gus Edwards is the goal line guy and going to get more of the work than anybody else back there. And I think Keaton Mitchell can carve out, an RB2-ish kind of role where he's like that Tony Pollard type, to Zeke. But we'll see. Hall, Bijan, Swift, B-Rob. All right, let's check out who some of these guys are playing. Jets got the Falcons. Bijan's got the Jets. We have to play Bijan. B-Rob, B-Rob, B-Rob. B-Rob against the Dolphins. Swift against the 49ers. I mean, by production, it probably should be Breece Hall. I mean, you could make the argument for B-Rob against the Dolphins if the Dolphins go up in that game. But B-Rob's been good as well. I mean, it's got to be Breece. I want to say it's got to be, you got to sit Breece, I guess. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing. think it's tough to, but I think at this point you might have to. Marty, what up, Marty? QB2, that's it. No upside. Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. So he should be worth about a second. Kenny Pickett. You're not. Don't spend a first on him. Even a second plus is like doesn't even feel good. So the other quarterback we were going to talk about is Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes, Superflex leagues. What are we doing with Danny Dimes? What are we thinking with Danny Dimes? I mean, the team is horrible. They're going to get a good pick. Are they going to take a quarterback or are they going to roll one more year with Daniel Jones and see what they have there? I mean, at this point, I think we've seen enough. I think he's kind of in that Kenny Pickett-ish kind of range where he just doesn't matter as much, but he is a quarterback, so the value is there. Is he a good guy to buy low into? I mean, if he's a throw-in or something like that in a trade, maybe I'd take him, but not going out to buy him. They could easily just replace him in the draft. So I think he's a major risk. I think that if you have him on your squad, it's hard to even get rid of him because nobody wants him. You almost have to keep him just for the hope that he gains just enough value for you to get rid of him. But I'd take any second round pick for him if you can get rid of him. I wouldn't even argue to try and get more if you could get a second. If you could get the second, just grab him. So one more year left on the contract. Do they draft somebody? These are going to be the major things that we're looking at for Danny Dimes going into this offseason. So we're going to see him drop drastically in the offseason on ADP. Nobody's going to be taking Danny Dimes. So same kind of situation. Even worse, you could say. Which brings us to the next quarterback of Mac Jones, right? I mean, another one. We don't know. This guy's getting pulled. He's in and out of the lineup. I mean, it's not like Zappy's any better. I mean, Zappy just comes in and turns the ball over also. Just starts throwing picks. So it's not like Zappy's any better than Mac Jones is. But is it Mac Jones? Is he that bad? Or is it the offense? Is it Belichick? Is it the Patriots? Will he get another shot somewhere else? I'm not so sure that he will. I'm not so sure that he will. So Mac Jones, I mean, the value of Mac Jones has gone in the toilet. I mean, it was supposed to be a big year this year. We kind of all were thinking maybe Mac Jones turns it around, maybe the Patriots turn around this year, and that hasn't happened. And they're just burying Mac. I mean, it's bad. So not looking into Mac Jones at all is another one where if you can sell him for pretty much anything, then you take it. But I think he's pretty much dumb. He's pretty much done. I mean, Pickett, there's still a chance that he is the QB for the Steelers. There's a chance that he's still the future. Fields, he's going to have opportunity. There's a chance either whether it's with the Bears or with somebody else, right? Danny Dimes, there's a chance that he plays next year. Maybe the Giants don't go after a quarterback. Maybe they just try and improve the team and give Danny Dimes one more year. Because if they're bad, maybe they just draft a quarterback the year after. But Mac Jones, there's almost no hope for Mac Jones as far as next season or future at all. So I think he's kind of the worst of the bunch that we're talking about here. And bro, I'm with you, Diaz. I'm with you that they absolutely ruined him, but it's done. I mean, there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody is ever going to give him a chance again. Unless injuries happen. then he's gonna have a shot, but they have no line. Yeah, man. Mac is getting the Belichick treatment when you're not. Yeah, DJ's not him. No, I mean DJ. And that's the fucked up part is they wind up paying Daniel Jones and not paying Saquon, and it's just bitten them in the ass so far. So we'll see what happens this offseason and going into next season. But Mac Jones is going to be the worst of it. He's got no shot whatsoever. So it's tough for Mac. But listen, we've got new quarterbacks coming in. We've got rookie quarterbacks coming in. We've got, quarterbacks that are moving up the rankings like CJ Stroud. So, not all these quarterbacks are going to be making it for the future. So if we had to pick one, Fields, Pickett, Dimes, Mac Jones, who has a chance to, the best chance at the future, I think obviously it's got to be Fields out of them, right? Where's he going to go? Pickett's ceiling was Kirk Cousins. Oh, man. That would have required a good offensive coordinator, but they haven't, so he'll be Andy Dalton 2.0. Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't know if he ever had a chance to be as good as Kirk Cousins, but yeah, he's not even throwing. He's not throwing tutties. Now, I'm interested to see what's going to happen the rest of the season. Right? Does he start to throw at least some touchdowns? Does he start to look better? Does he start throwing for over 225, 250 yards? He had a great game last game. Is that going to continue? Deontay Johnson seems fed up and upset. He's fucking walking off the field when there's a live fumble right in front of him. Situation is just not good. Birdman. Yeah, Fields. Danny, can I borrow a dime? Daniel Jones is bad. Daniel Jones is bad, but he's locked in. Yeah, so yeah, hold. First good game, sell immediately to those who. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's the thing. He is locked into the contract, but is that going to still stop them from actually drafting a QB? Or like I mentioned before, do they say fuck it, let's just roll with Daniel Jones one more year? We did pay him. If he doesn't do it for us this year, then we're going to be having to look for a quarterback next year. He did get them to the playoffs, so when you look at it that way, it's like so maybe he does give one more season, but for sure you have to hold. Nobody's buying him. I don't think anybody's buying him. So, sometimes you just at certain points you just hold them until that little spike happens, that 1 week happens, that one window opens where they become slightly more valuable that you can move off just for a profit. Fields is getting traded before the draft. I feel that. I really hope he does. I really hope he does. You can't sell the 1.01 years in a row. Yeah, you have to reset the salary, reset the clock on the window of opportunity. You can't pass up these QBs. No, listen, there was talk of that last year though too, right, Diaz? There was big talk of that last year where were they going to draft a QB or were they going to stick with Fields? They wound up sticking with him, and I think after this year, you're right. I think that absolutely they should be resetting the clock on the position and just trying to get something new in there. Now, he's looked good with DJ Moore, but it hasn't done anything. It's not causing you to win games. He's still turning the ball over a ton. He's still missing throws, which we all saw. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Fields will never be the guy. Again, every situation he'll be in competition. They'll always bring in competition. The thing is, where will it go? And it will be a coordinator that can utilize. Yeah. I'm with you 100%. I think he's definitely gonna get a shot going somewhere else. Definitely gonna get a shot, and he's got only 1 year to do it, right? So, there'll absolutely be competition because they don't feel there's no safety net. There's 1 year left, he's got it. That's it. That's it. So, for sure, I think you're absolutely right. There'll for sure be some kinda competition-ish or some kind of backup plan for that team because Daboll, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's bad, but it's, like, good at the same time. Like, does it work for that team? Will it work for the Falcons if that happens? I mean, can we just have a little bit can we just have a little bit of fun with Drake London and Kyle Pitts? Just can we? Can we get a Jameis Winston up in there just for, like, a couple games? Just let him toss it around a little bit. I mean, I would love to see Fields look happy playing. He seems miserable. Yeah, I mean, he always looks miserable. I mean, he's coming off the field after these turnovers, and he absolutely, for sure. One follow-up to my Moss question, empty the clip on him. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how much you got left in the clip, but this is the playoff push. This is the time. So, if you absolutely need these wins these next couple weeks and you need a running back, then yeah. Now, if you're set at running back, then maybe I don't empty the clip on him. Maybe I empty half the clip or a quarter of the clip. Save me some if I don't need him because if I pick him up and he's just on my bench, the only benefit that it's having is that somebody else doesn't have him and somebody else can't play him, but it doesn't necessarily benefit you as much. So it kind of just depends on the situation there, Will. 24-0 though. Yeah, I mean, your team is that good. I mean, take a look at what other teams have as well. What can other teams spend? Who else is going to possibly try and go get him or try and go spend on him? Oh, it's best ball. Okay. So a little bit different then. I feel you. I feel you. Sound like you're begging your girlfriend for fun sex. Arthur Smith grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He ain't about that life. Listen, fuck Arthur Smith, okay? I know. It's just a dream, okay? It's a dream. It is a dream. At least he's giving the ball to Bijan, though. I mean, he's giving it to two other running backs as well. Like, I don't know. But at least Bijan was able to produce for us. I think that was an important part. Let's look at Cordell Patterson. 8 carries. 8 carries for 43 yards. Why is Cordell Patterson getting 8 carries? And then when you let's look at Algier real quick. Algier gets 10 carries for 64 yards. Bijan 16 carries for 91. And then he had 6 targets through the air. So I'm fine with that as long as I'm fine with the other 2 guys getting some work. As long as Bijan's still getting, like 18 plus just opportunities. Got Aaron Jones and Walker down, so I'm going for. Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Depends on your situation. So yeah, if you need to go for him for the next couple weeks, if you need him for sure. Bijan has his best game versus me, of course. Yeah, that's how it be happening sometimes. That's how it be happening. I would have liked to see Fields with that indie coach that came from the Eagles. They turned Hurts into a franchise QB. That's true. That's true. Hurts was terrible. Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. That was like a crazy jump and improvement from Hurts. Frank Reich, there you go. Bijan needs to be on all red zone opportunities. Oh, for sure, but he's not. I mean, that's the fucking crazy part. Same with Pitts and London. No, they'd rather Jonnu Smith. They'd rather hand it to Jonnu Smith. You know, you'd rather have Pitts block so Jonnu Smith can score the touchdown. I mean, these are big. Like those guys are big. Pitts, London. These guys, they can contested catch very well. Like these are guys that for sure should be in on red zone opportunities, and for sure should be getting targeted a ton down there. I mean, you don't need a great quarterback to just put it in an area for Pitts or London to go get it. He wasn't terrible. He had to clean up some things. Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy how like Dynasty has become like so much more. It's changed like a lot lately. Like it's a lot more like it's a lot more like weekly game, like, and the way that people think is a lot more like redrafty almost. Every week, like a guy has a bad week, it's just like the value drops a shit ton. I mean, people are selling Joe Burrow early in the season when he was, injured in his leg. I mean, obviously, when guys are done for the season, at that point, obviously, you can take precautions and start trading guys and trying to win. But it's crazy what it's become now. And it all depends on the league, right? Because we all play in different leagues, right? And you've got your home leagues where it is a little bit more maybe redrafty. Maybe not everybody is so dynasty oriented. You've got, some leagues that you play in and some people really know what they're doing, some people don't. You got some leagues where it's very, very competitive and everybody knows what they're doing. And those are some of the best leagues. But you being a coach with a head out of his ass. Pitts is 6'6", 250, runs a 4.4 hands like a mongoloid. Bro, it's crazy. And if you look at like the routes that he runs, like how he wins on the routes, like he's open, like he's out there. I mean, he's a literal like wide receiver playing at the tight end position, and it's not fair. Like you can't put a linebacker on him. He's too fast. You can't put a corner on him or a safety because he's too big. Like Dynasty has become like day trading. Yep. Yep. I feel that. Had someone tell me Kyron and Dell are each worth an early first. Same with Puka earlier this season. Now, not so much on Puka. No. No. I mean, early first is nuts. Early first is nuts. Aaron is a little bit interesting as far as like what's going to happen next year for that team. Anytime that players are putting up production, automatically the value skyrockets. I mean, you had people trading, selling Jalen Waddle for Puka. And that could be an argument, right? I mean, for me, I just rather have Waddle, but it just like automatically people put him up there. Like, but then the other crazy part is when you think about Puka and what Puka did. Like, what if that was what if that was JSN? What if JSN put up those numbers? Right? We'd be we'd be launching him up the rankings, right? But Puka, I mean, he's good. He's got talent, but he's not as talented as some of these other guys that are up there in dynasty rankings. Dell is creeping up there. About their shit in Desmond Ritter. I'm gonna post in subscriber league. Kyron's on the block for true first. Listen, I love Kyron Diaz or any other running back. I just don't have much to spend, to be honest with you. I just don't have much to spend. Reed. Jaden Reed? Yeah, we talked about him a little bit earlier. I like Jaden Reed a lot. We liked him coming out. Some people gave me shit. I said he was going to be the number 1 on Green Bay. Not that that's happened yet, but I like Reed. I like Reed a lot. I just wasn't crazy high on Christian Watson. He was a guy, him and George Pickens in the offseason, they were big kind of tear up guys for me. Just take advantage of that value where, we push up all of these young wide receivers. We push up all the younger guys in the offseason. Take advantage of that value and start trying to tier up. Because once the season starts, if they don't perform at what what everybody thinks they're going to or what they're valued at, then that value goes down the drain. This time last year, Renfro was doubling DK stats and everyone loved him. Now look at him. Is this Puka future? Is Will Fuller Dell's future? I don't know. I mean, the thing with Dell is like they have Nico right now. What are they going to do with Nico? They're going to re-sign him, or did they bring in another wide receiver? I think they can absolutely bring in another wide receiver. So I don't know if Dell could ever be the actual wide receiver 1 that we're going to want him to be. Now by situation, for this year, obviously he's doing his thing, so kudos to him. But for the future, we don't know. We can't really tell the future. Puka also, what happens when Stafford's gone? I mean, Puka's good, but is he that good? Puka will never have another stretch that he had the first, few games of the season. I don't think that will ever happen again. Cup or not, but how long is Stafford going to be there? How long is that going to last? I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as saying Dell is Will Fuller. I like Dell a little more than that, but Dell's a smaller guy who kind of broke the mold of being that smaller guy, but he can run routes and he can play outside. Like that for a smaller guy, he can play outside, and I think that's what's been really good for him. Selling Olave and G Willie for the leverage. Yeah, for sure. Buying Ayuk in first for G Willie and Olave for Pittman in the first. Yeah, that's what I did with Waddle earlier this season in 2 leagues. Got Pittman in the first. In 1 league, I think I took Godwin in the first. In another league, just kind of tearing down from some of these guys. Because as you see, Olave, G Willie, they kind of came back a little bit, came back down to earth. So, and guys like Ayuk is kind of in that same frame. Pittman, same thing. So, yep. And that's the thing in the offseason, a lot of things happen, right? These guys get pushed up, veterans get pushed down, veterans are way cheaper. I mean, what could you have bought Mike Evans with in the offseason? compared to what you got to pay for him right now after he's producing, for the whole season. But when we didn't know who the quarterback was, when we saw Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask just absolute garbage in training camp. I mean, what you could have bought him for at that time when everybody's loving the younger guys, when you're a contender, like you've got to take advantage of some of the prices. Now, obviously, nobody knew that Mike Evans was going to do what he did, but Mike Evans produces every year, no matter who the quarterback is. So even to get him as a cheap price, go out and get him. Dynasty is like shifting gears in a car. Yeah, get that leverage. Then when Chase and JJ become available, you have a war chest to go buy them, and your league looks at you with spite. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got CD and Chase in one league. I was able to buy Chase, and I'm like, damn, like I'm about to destroy these people next year. Because when injuries happen and when points are being put on the board, that's just values change tremendously. People are more willing to come off of a JJ or a Chase, even in Dynasty, because they're injured, and that's when you gotta pounce on it. The price is always gonna be a high price, but it's just the fact that it's actually available for you to possibly buy. The Burrow was a perfect example of trying to buy Joe Burrow early in the season. A lot of people were able to buy him. He was in the block in a ton of leagues. Now, did you have what he cost to give up? Maybe. Maybe you didn't, but the fact that he was just available to begin with. I sold Judy for what did I sell Judy for? I sold Judy for like Jordan Addison before the season. Had Nico everywhere for cheap. Yeah, I mean, I had a video out, which I'll do again this year, right after the fantasy season of um right after, I think it was even maybe after the whole actual Super Bowl and everything. I put a video out of guys to just kind of stash or to hold. And Nico was on there. There was a bunch of guys. I actually should go back to that video. There's a bunch of guys on there that actually turned out, to turn out well for this season. Nico was a big one because I really liked Nico last season, towards the end of last season. And what he did early on in this season, he vaulted up dynasty rankings real quick. Real quick. He kind of came back down to earth a little bit, but because he's young, because it's a young quarterback and a young team, automatically he's vaulted up. Yeah, the QB situations have been for real. The injuries that have happened to the QBs this year, it's like the running back position this year. Just a ton of QBs getting injured, ton of QBs that's either not producing or like the Howells of the world that just, are producing out of nowhere. The Trevor Lawrence debacles, Geno Smith. I mean, we've seen a ton of regression as well. And then you got guys playing a lot better, like Russ, Dak, Tua, and just a bunch of quarterbacks that do nothing. Got Pickens for Muth. Is there anybody else you can drop? I mean, if that's the only guy that you have to drop and you need a tight end, then yeah. If you got other wide receivers and better options, and you don't need to ever play Pickens, then yeah, it just kind of depends on your team makeup, Doug. But yeah, if there are any last questions in the chat, I'll probably hang out for a few more minutes. Let me know what else y'all want to talk about for the time being. We'll be on again Friday night, Saturday night, 10 Eastern. And then Sunday mornings, of course, so you can catch us there as well. Appreciate everybody, of course, for always tuning in. Smash that like for me, guys, if you haven't already. If you're new and you enjoyed any point of the show, just smash that subscribe, join the crew. We'll see what to get into next week. Appreciate you, Birdman. Have a good night, brother. Crispy said chicken or the egg. Take the egg. But yeah, I'll give y'all another minute to throw any last second questions, and then I'll be getting up out of here. Appreciate you guys and gals. Make sure for the gals. All right, y'all. That'll wrap it up.
You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
My pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies, make money, money.
Called out here for a pill. Really tryna get this money for a real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me, no, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go, money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.